Well, welcome back to The Real Dish. I'm Chef Mareya, the Fit Foodie, aka your Internet Auntie. And if nobody's told you today, you look marvelous. This podcast has always been really more than food. It's about feeding your body, your mind, your purpose, and maybe most importantly, your courage. Because here's what I've learned after 57 years on this planet: the healthiest people I know aren't just the ones who eat well, they're the ones who never stop growing, evolving, challenging themselves. And that's what today's episode is all about. Because I have a feeling someone listening needs to hear this. Is that you? You don't need permission to reinvent yourself ever. Just ask Madonna. No, but seriously, a few weeks ago, I read a comment that completely stopped me in my tracks. And it just said, I wish I had your courage. And at first I smiled, and then I thought, if only you knew. The courage that you see is probably the last word I'd use to describe how life has felt for me, how the moments that I have just frozen, and felt I have no courage. Selling the home we'd worked so hard to build together. It was really our dream home. Terrifying, terrifying. Becoming an empty nester, absolutely heartbreaking. Starting a business and inventing a product line as a single mom with two kids under the age of 5. People were like, have you lost your mind? You're leaving your full-time job with benefits and insurance and stock options? What? Why? Moving in with my 84-year-old father to help, care for him, even though he doesn't think he needs to be cared for. Beautiful, but emotional. Definitely hard. Walking through Portugal in the forest, not normal. I questioned whether I'd made the right decision more than once. Competing in bodybuilding in my 50s, I mean, with a torn ACL, like, some people would call it courage, some would just call it downright crazy. And let's just say that those were the moments where I even questioned myself. I remember standing backstage before going out there in this teeny weeny bikini in high heels and lots of makeup, and my hair did, going, what in the world are you doing? Whether it's that, or launching businesses, or selling businesses like I did with my business, or starting over and doing new things, or showing up on national television where you got to grab stuff from a platform that you can't reach. None of those moments felt brave when I was living in them. They felt really uncertain, really scary, and really messy, sometimes lonely, sometimes overwhelming. And that's when it hit me, is that people think courage is a personality trait. It isn't. Let me say that again. People think courage is a personality trait. It is not. Courage is a decision. And one small decision made before you feel ready. Because when are we ever ready for anything? Really? Like, even the decision to have children. A lot of that is not in our hands, obviously. But when you decide, oh, now we've got enough money, or now we're secure enough in our work or whatever financially, now we can have kids. But nobody ever feels ready. When you're holding that little baby and they let you take it home from the hospital, you're like, I don't think I'm ready, every single time. So really the question ends up being, what are you waiting for? Because there's never a perfect time for anything. Seriously. Who gets to decide when you finally become the version of yourself that you've been dreaming about? Your spouse? Your kids? Your parents? No. Your boss? No. Your friends? No. The number on the scale? Definitely not, because for many people that never comes. The calendar? No. Retirement? Definitely no, because when's that going to be? menopause? I mean, we're sitting here waiting until life feels less busy to take the trip, to do the thing, to change the career, to work on improving something in our lives that's been bothering us for a long time. We wait for the finances to get better. We wait for the kids to, not need us anymore. They will always need you. I am 57 years old and I still need my father. But here's the thing, life has a funny way of moving the finish line. There's always another reason to wait. And before you know it, 5 years becomes 10. So literally, 5 years becomes 10, and then 10 become 20. I don't want that for you. I didn't want that for myself. But man, I blinked and I swear 30 years went like that. I feel on many occasions that I'm still in my 20s. I'm still a kid trying to figure life out. And yet, life has lifed. I've already experienced so much life. And now I'm in really the middle, the second chapter. So I really want to talk about something that I call the invisible permission slip. I think women, especially, have been handed invisible permission slips. They're our entire lives. By now, you've heard, well, you should settle down. Well, you should be practical. Well, don't make waves. You don't want to stand out. God forbid you stand out. Don't spend money on yourself. You've got to, be there for other people. Definitely don't travel alone. That's very scary and intimidating, and XYZ might happen. You're going to wear that? No, don't wear that. That's for younger people. Oh, don't do your hair like that. If you do your hair like that's not what a mature older woman does. Well, of course you wouldn't want to start over, or don't lift too heavy. You might get too muscular, or don't be too ambitious, because if you're too ambitious, then people will think you're, one of those women that begin with a B. Don't be too loud. Don't be too happy. Don't be too much. Who made these rules? And why do we listen to them? Why do we allow them to be our norms? Maybe it's because we heard them from prior generations. Maybe it's because we have people in our lives that don't want to see us win. Sad but true. I think a lot of people don't want to see us win. They don't want to see us be successful, because then it makes them think about their own lives and taking risks that they're not willing to take. I don't remember anybody in the cheap seats paying for my life. And somewhere along the way, we give that voice a lot of credit, a lot of voting rights. And we stop asking ourselves, what do I actually want? So I think it's really an opportunity right now in midlife to take that invisible permission slip and cash them in. You've probably accumulated a lot of those. They're sitting in a stack on your virtual desk next to your AI person, whatever, that's invisible. And it's time to cash them in, because at some point they won't be worth anything anymore. The permission slips to do the things that you have longed to do, so that one day you do not look back and go, I regret that I didn't do that. I didn't go spend the summer in Paris. I didn't go on a trip with my daughter. I didn't go to see my best friend across the country. I didn't invest in education because I really wanted to become a doctor, a nurse, a chef, a poet, whatever it is. Can I let you in on something? Instagram and other social media has done us no favors either, because it makes reinvention look glamorous. It makes it look like, ooh, look at this. Everything's new. Everything's new. Like you went to the store and bought a new pair of shoes. You got a new passport. You got a new house. Reinvention looks like a new business, a new relationship, beautiful sunsets, perfect smiles, a nice, crisp, cold glass of wine that won't give you a hangover in the morning. Nobody posts the panic attacks, the self doubt, the tears in the rental car, the sleepless nights wondering if you've made a terrible mistake because you've put a second mortgage on your home to start that business and you have no child support coming from the ex. I had every single one of those moments. In fact, I had to short sell my house when I started my business, Eat Cleaner, because my ex refused to pay child support and spousal support. So I had to take a big gamble and roll the dice and bet on the only asset that I had. So when we sold our home last year, my now husband and I sold our home, people saw freedom. But what they didn't see was grieving, the place where we raised our kids as teenagers together, as newlyweds. When, I traveled alone, people saw adventure. When, I was nervous. They didn't see me wandering and wonder if I'd be okay navigating a new country. They just saw glamour. When I stepped onto a bodybuilding stage, people saw confidence. Maybe some people questioned my sanity. Some friends wouldn't even talk to me, but they didn't see the years of injuries and the self doubt for the discipline that happened long before anyone applauded. Reinvention isn't always glamorous, and I don't want to paint a picture that it is because I think that's really misleading. Because if you just see the glamour associated with it, then the hard work that is part of reinvention will feel like you've been misled. And I'm going to be the real dish for you, hun. Straightforward. It is not all glamorous, and it is deeply human to feel all the feels. When I came back after Next Level Chef, I was pretty broken. I was pretty broken. I was pretty torn up. I still look back and I still have nightmares. It was as though all the years of experience that I had, I forgot. It was like it drained out of my body when I was under that kind of pressure. And I was on display in front of the whole country, in front of the whole world, really. And I never really felt like I put my best foot forward. And it was very heartbreaking for me because that's not what I wanted to show. After years of being on television and doing really well and doing other things, that was not how I wanted to show up for you, for me. But it happened. And that is the gamble that we take when it comes to being courageous. I can tell you story after story of athletes that you see show up that are, Hall of Famers that got benched when they were young or got traded a million times before they landed on a team that won the ring or, that had complicated injuries and thought that they would never play again. These are all the risks that we take, no matter what age we are. It just seems to feel a little bit harder as we get older, but it doesn't mean that we can't do it. So I think that if I put my chef and nutritionist hat on for a moment, I want to just share something. I think our bodies are incredible teachers. Muscle doesn't grow because it's comfortable. It grows because it's challenged and torn. We actually tear the muscle fibers down to allow them to grow. We actually prune, plants and trees in order to bear more fruit. Yeah, that's biblical. So what becomes, from the outside looking in, looks damaged, then becomes stronger. Bones become stronger when we ask them to carry more. Your heart becomes healthier when you move it. Your brain literally creates new neural pathways every time you learn something unfamiliar. This is why I always recommend learning new things, whether it's learning a new language or playing an instrument or taking up a hobby, a craft. Use your brain in different ways. Nature never intended for us to stay stagnant. Everything about our biology is designed to adapt. You either adapt or you die. It's not a cliche, it's the actual truth. So, why do we expect our lives to stay comfortable if we want them to grow? Because if we're not growing, we're atrophying. Growth has always required a little resistance, quite literally, resistance. Not punishment, not suffering, not enough. I mean, sometimes a little bit. Yeah, a little bit of suffering, actually, I should say, because you have to suffer a little bit to grow. It doesn't feel always good to work out. Can I get an amen? It doesn't always feel great to really grunt it out at the gym. But when you're done, you're like, I'm really glad I did that. So, enough challenge to remind us that we're still alive is a beautiful thing that we should all embrace. So, today, I'm going to play teacher. I'm going to play teacher for a second. And I'm going to give you a permission slip. If you don't already have a stack of them, because by the way, you don't need to ask permission from anybody, but I'm going to give you one if you're looking for one. And I'm going to do something a little silly. I'm going to write it out for you. All you have to do is email me at Mareya at chefmareya.com and say, I need permission. And I'm going to send you a permission slip, a real one. And that permission slip is going to give you the ability to say, yes, I'm going to book the trip. I'm going to book it right now. I don't know where I'm going, but I'm going to go somewhere. Maybe you're going to come with me on a retreat. We're doing them next year. Maybe you're going to say, yes, I'm going to start taking care of myself and I'm going to start lifting weights. And I'm not going to be intimidated to go to the gym or just use my own body weight at home. I'm going to do it. Or maybe you're going to wear a swimsuit for the first time in years. Or maybe you're going to say no without feeling guilty or having to explain yourself because you're stretched. Or maybe you're going to say yes because you keep saying no and you keep missing out on opportunities. Maybe you're going to use that permission slip to start a business. Oh, I know, girl, it's scary. It can be, but it could also be the coolest thing you ever do in your life. Or maybe you want to use it to go back to school. Or maybe you're going to go try a new restaurant down the street. You never had Afghanistani food. Or you never had Persian cuisine. Or you never eaten Egyptian food. Grab the book. Shameless plug there for Eat Like You Give a Fork. Maybe you just need to go out and make some new friends because the friends that you've had just are not very ambitious anymore and you want to try new things. I picked up line dancing and I met a whole bunch of new people line dancing. Do that. Reinvent yourself. Become a beginner again. Become a student. It's fun to be a student. Remember when you're a student, you're like, wow, my brain is just learning all these new things and you get excited and jazzed when you pick something up. Do that. Dream bigger. Get uncomfortable. And I want you to imagine now, after you've gotten that permission slip, crumpling it up. Throw it away. Just throw it away. Throw it away. Even the one that I sent you. Because here's the truth. You never needed one. You never needed one. All you have to do is just do. Don't say I'm trying. Whenever I hear somebody say, hey, I'm trying to blah, 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 I'm saying, I go, you're not trying, you're doing. Stop saying I'm trying. Just start saying I'm doing. I am doing. It's an active verb. And when your mind understands it and your mouth says it, your body and your brain will follow. That is part of what I learned in my brain health coaching program. Say it, believe it, and then go do it. Because if you're standing at one of life's crossroads right now, like me, as I record this, my daughter is getting married next week. Next week, my baby girl. My firstborn, my little girl, is getting married next week. And it's a huge crossroads. Can't believe I'm just saying this, and I can't even believe it's coming out of my mouth. But maybe something like that has happened, or you're navigating menopause for the first time and you're just like, I don't even recognize my body anymore. Or maybe you're rebuilding after a divorce. I've been there. Or maybe you're grieving someone you lost. I've been there. Or maybe you're starting at a career that no longer feels like you. Or maybe you're simply hearing a quiet whisper that says, there's more to life. Listen to it. That whisper isn't asking you to become someone else. It's asking you to become more fully yourself. Because your story isn't over. In fact, I think the next chapter might be the best one yet. Not because it'll be easy, but because this time you'll be writing it on purpose. Can we do this? Can we just do the thing? And if this episode spoke to you, I'd love for you to share it with a friend who might be waiting for permission to. And if you're ready to stop waiting and start designing your next chapter, I'd love to walk alongside you. That's exactly why I created Foundations. It's a 6-week coaching experience to help you move from feeling stuck to feeling clear, confident, and excited about what's next. Together, we'll build the habits, the mindset, and the roadmap for your next season of life because you need a solid foundation to build on. And once you get that down, there is no stopping you. It's just building one intentional step at a time. And you can learn more at therealdish.com. And if today's conversation encouraged you, would you do me a favor? Leave a review, a 5-star review if you would, wherever you listen to this podcast. It helps more women discover the community and lets me know that these conversations are making a difference. Until next time, keep feeding your body, feeding your dreams, and remember, you don't need permission to reinvent yourself. You just need the courage to take the first step. I'm Chef Mareya, your Internet Auntie, and I'll see you next time on The Real Dish. Thank you for being here.